In this video, we're going to go through how we correctly add and subtract using significant figures, as well as multiply and divide using significant figures. The first one that we're going to cover is the multiplication and division, because multiplication and division using significant figures is actually easier than the adding and subtracting. So the rule for multiplication and division is the least number of significant figures. So, for instance, let's say that we have this measurement, 14.40. 14.40 centimeters contains 4 significant figures. Why is there 4 significant figures? The 1 counts, the 4 counts, the 4 counts. And remember, if it's a trailing 0 to the right of the decimal, then it counts. 13.1 has 3 significant figures. And 0.040 only has 2 significant figures. Why is that? Remember, these two are leading zeros. They are placeholders. They don't count. The 4 and this trailing 0 to the right of the 4. This is a placeholder. These are leading zeros. This is a trailing 0 to the right of the decimal. Counts. 2 significant figures. So when I take my calculator and I put in 14.40 times 13.1 times 0.040, here's the answer that shows up on my calculator. But when I see this answer, and it's a centimeter times a centimeter times a centimeter is a centimeter cubed. By the way, a centimeter cubed is exactly the same thing as a milliliter, but we're not going to focus on that right now. Here's the rule, the least number of significant figures rule. This has 4 sig figs. This has 3 sig figs. This only has 2 sig figs. So my answer that is shown on my calculator is not my final answer. I have to round it to 2 sig figs. So that means I keep the 7, I keep the 5, and I determine if the 5 rounds up or stays a 5. So I look at this next number, and the next number is a 4, so it stays a 5. My final answer is 7.5 centimeters cubed. Finally, for our next example, 18.5 grams, 3 significant figures, 1, 8, and 5, divided by 12.894, 5 significant figures, all of them count, multiplied by 13.90, 4 significant figures, the 1, the 3, the 9, and the 0 is a trailing 0 after the decimal, so it counts. So now my answer can only contain 3 sig figs because I'm looking at the least number of significant figures. So when I punch that into my calculator, that's what my calculator shows me. The units are grams, and it's divided by, so it's meters squared, grams per meter squared. So here is 3 sig figs, but right now it's showing 4. So I have to look at this last significant figure. Remember, the 0 does not count. So the 1 counts, the 0 is in the middle here, so it counts. The 3 counts, so I look at this next digit. Is it 5 or more? Then it changes the 3 to a 4. It's less than 4, so it's a 3. So 0.103. 3 significant figures for my final answer. I hope this helps in understanding how to multiply and divide using significant figures.